So, what makes a great guitar solo? Miracle Man by Ozzy Osbourne, Jump by Van Halen, Stairway to Heaven. Wait a minute, how many of you guys wanted to comment saying I put the wrong Led Zeppelin album in there for Stairway to Heaven? You think I don't know what album Stairway to Heaven's on? Come on now. Oh, you know, Life's Been Good. All these songs. Killer solo inside of all of them. And I was listening to them the other day, and then I realized something that was kind of hidden that no one really talks about when it comes to guitar solos. See, whenever we think of a guitar solo, we 100% focus on the notes of it, right? The way the solo is actually played, which is not wrong. I even asked ChatGPT, what makes a great guitar solo? And it listed off great things, but there's one big area I really thought it was missing. It listed off things like skill and technique. You have the emotional expression, also really good. Melody and phrasing, creativity, context with the song. Oh, that's interesting too. But it gave me a lot of ideas about the solo, but not what is behind the solo. Nobody talks about the riff, the rhythm section behind solos. So what's happening behind the solo is just as important as what's happening in the solo. Think of any iconic, Stairway to Heaven. Listen to what's happening behind Page's solo. It is so crucial to the expression of his notes. So let's dive into a few of these cool and or famous solos, and let's just see what the rhythm section's doing and what can we take away to make our solos sound a little bit more pro. Let's talk about Jump for a second. The whole solo is obviously amazing, but what happens that I always thought was really cool inside of it, and a huge thing that we can take away, is the emotional shift the song takes. You're riding that C, might as well jump, and then all of a sudden he goes. Now, obviously, there's no guitar there, but that's what the bass is playing. We've completely shifted keys, which is a huge thing that I want to incorporate way more into my playing, because it always is this big dramatic change. And typically, you can almost go anywhere you want as long as the band or the track or whatever joins together. So you'll notice whenever they go to this, also they go to this B minor kind of thing. He goes right there. He just kind of goes to this, started out in B minor, B flat minor, right there, and then you have the bass. That already is something I'm like, oh, that's cool. Key changes. Okay, that makes that solo sound even better. Think about solos like LaGrange, for example. The whole song is... Now, what if he just kept that in A? Would it have had as big of a punch if the whole song was just riding out that A the whole time? I don't think so. Billy goes up to C, and then he rocks the C minor pentatonic, and kind of goes, you know how that goes. I'm not going to play the lick wrong. But the key change thing, or just, changing the tonal center, such a huge thing. And now I'm going to hit you guys with a wild card riff. So I'm a huge Philip Sayce fan. And his song Powerful Thing, he has the coolest, most powerful solo transition ever in Strat history. I know, big statement, but it's just my favorite ever. It's so cool. Song's based out of E. And then he goes into the solo section, which goes... For one, if you haven't checked out Philip Sayce and you don't know the song I'm talking about, go check it out. Just monster player, fellow 63 player, and just overall great person. He just seems like such a good, genuine person. But what I really took away from this was the amount of power this happens. Again, you see that we're kind of the song is in E, and I got a cranky cranky volume pot on my Strat. It's kind of that vibe to it, you know, this almost like Mixolydian sound to it, that Mixolydian, Dorian, whatever's going on there. And when he just kicks into that part and he goes to the G, and what happens is whenever you do this key change, that tonal center change that I'm talking about, is it's just so cool whenever everybody joins in on the track, you know. So, you know, Phil is hitting this, that big unison bend. It goes right along. When it hits the G, goes to that riff. That's what he's doing there. But that's what's happening behind the solo. It's a riff that is a complete departure. He doesn't play the riff anywhere else in the song. It just rips out this monster riff over this crazy solo, and it's one where they match really well. Like the attitude and aggression in the riff is right there with the solo. So, you know, you're going in this like kind of like, you know, love is a powerful thing, and he goes into he doesn't hit he's hitting a different chord. I can't remember what chord he hits. There's so much swagger on that. I mean, like, that's what a solo is to me. You know, it's this exclamation point. Whether it's a big sound like this, or it's just kind of like, you know, really the icing on the cake of a mood that you're trying to set. But I don't know, that one there, I was just like, yes, that's the one right there. Started talking about this next one with an Ibanez in my hand, and I'm like, man, people gonna yell at me. So Miracle Man is another great example of a really cool riff that is a departure from what's actually happening in the song. So the song itself, very upbeat. It's pretty much just like 0 to 60 the whole time. But what I thought was really cool was he rhythmically changes what he's doing. Like I said, it's very up-tempo, so how do you give an up-tempo song like that a solo with a different feel? Well, he changed what he's doing in it. So you have like this driving sound the whole time. That's kind of what you're doing. Well, he changes it from that just like straight ahead, just like kind of burrow in your face, to this gallop sound, and it changes the solo. Obviously, he's outlining the chord. But behind all that, he's going like this. And then he does it again. And I love the little endings he adds. Then up here. Oh, it's so cool. And then he goes, the big end, he goes. So what's our takeaway from this? Have a rhythm section behind your solo that is rhythmically different from all the other sections. You know, it doesn't just have to be a continuation of the same thing. You also don't have to change keys or anything like that if you don't want to. Look, we kept it in F sharp minor. Hold and feel. And I mean, like, again, look at how much more powerful that makes his solo sound just by doing that. Whew, got a little too hot there with that hoodie on. It's getting warm in here. So the big takeaway from this, and something that I've learned from making this video myself, is how crucial the backing rhythm of a solo is. You can completely sculpt the emotion and just overall feel of a solo by what's happening behind it, you know, or not having something. You know, think of like the Winger 17 solo where everything drops out and Reb's just doing that big tremolo picking part. That is a very powerful thing. That's because there's nothing happening behind him. It's just that. So, you know, I know we get caught up thinking about the scales, the techniques, how they play that arpeggio run, all that kind of stuff. But don't forget about what's happening behind the solo. It's just as important. And I really feel like that's a key component to trying to sound like the pros, like the legends. It's all in there. So I'm going to get on out here, guys. I don't even have a guitar in my hand here. I can't even end it bluesy. Hold on. We can't do this. So what are we doing here? Hold on. The Explorer was the closest guitar. All right, guys. I will see you all later. Bye, guys.